I just think that it's so important to teach children from very early on, empowering words, how to self-regulate, how to understand themselves, how to understand their feelings, and to realize that with a word, a phrase, it can change everything in your moment. And it can make you go from disempowered to empowered. No matter what somebody says to you, you can walk off feeling like I'm king of the mountain.
You are now tuning in to the Going North podcast with your host, best-selling author, professional speaker, and member of the John Maxwell team, Dominic Dom Brightman. And every Monday and Thursday, we're going to hear the voice of a different author sharing their gifts, stories, and expertise to help you charge forward in life. Now let's get on with the show. And today on the High Live Real Builder for Authors, known as the Going North podcast, we got one heck of a treat for you today, my friends, because it's another special occasion, folks, thanks to my man, Mr. Eminem. No, not the rapper or the candy rapper. Talking about Mickey Mickelson of the Creative Edge Publicity Company. He's got another member from that crew today, folks. An award-winning author for a children's book series called Poohlicious. Not only that, she also is a ghostwriter and a book collaborator. And it gets even taller than ever in this tower of power here. A special needs advocate and an ambassador advocate for Autism Tennessee. And she even co-founded and is the co-host of her own wonderful Facebook Live show called Writer's Corner Live TV and Special Needs TV. And it doesn't even stop there, folks. She's a lovely wife and a very busy mom who loves being in nature, being creative, and anything funny, and most of all, inspiring others to believe in themselves. So let's give it up for the one, the only, fabulous, marvelous, exciting, and joyful Mary Elizabeth Jackson. How you doing today, ma'am?
I need to stand up and take a bow with that one. That's a great entrance. I feel so fabulous right now. Thank you. Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Your smiling face brings me joy.
Oh, thank you. Well, your rays of sun bring me joy and hope for brighter tomorrows, right?
Oh, yeah, especially during the winter so we don't have any freezing rain.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Thank you for that entrance. That was beautiful. I appreciate that very much.
Oh, my pleasure. That's usually one of the better parts of the podcast before I go off into the deep end and find a backcountry road that takes us to nowhere, but more puns and nonsense.
Like I said, put your seatbelt on, right?
That's right. Strap up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Rock on, man.
But hey, and speaking of rocks and bumps, I'm pretty sure there's a ton of things I forgot in the introduction, since introductions aren't allowed to be 3 days long. So mind filling in any cavities I may have missed about the marvelous Mary herself?
You are so sweet. Well, let's see. I have my children's series, and I have a middle grade reader coming out soon. I'm working on an 8-book series that will be for children of all needs and will be about social skills and things like that, because we need books out there for kiddos like that. That just kind of includes everybody, not your just typicals, but all kids of all walks and all abilities and disabilities. And so I just started, like, in the last several months, adding ghostwriter and collaborator to my resume. So super excited. I'm working on a couple of the true stories that are really big, and I'm just really excited about it. It's super fun. And there's a brand new app that has come out. It's starting over in Denmark, and it's called Sport Together, and I'm the voice for it. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So that'll be here in the States soon, and they're going to take it global. So that's a lot of fun.
That's what I'm talking about. Some bowling ball swag. Hitting strikes everywhere, huh?
Trying. We have one life to live, right? So we got to do what we got to do all, right? As much as we want, as much as we can. It's legal. That's what I always said. That's a disclaimer. It has to be legal, right?
Left.
Yes. Absolutely. So, so I have my live streaming shows are with the just absolutely amazing Brigitte Limbanda. She's in South Africa. She's our producer, and then we co-host together. And we stream out on 5 different platforms. And our Writers Corner live show focuses on everything about the writing world, and all the way from beginner writers to New York Times bestsellers, international bestsellers, to getting published, and kind of everything in between, publishers, illustrators, all of that stuff you'd want to know. And then special needs is everything that focuses on that world, interviews and resources and information. And actually today I'm learning a brand new technique to teach my son, because I have 2 kids on the spectrum. So my little guy is autism 1 with sensory processing and language processing. And I'm learning a new technique today. And I'm really excited to see what happens from it, to see what it's going to, because it's to go in and to retrain the brain. I'm very excited about it. It's integrative reflex.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So the discoveries keep on happening, and that's amazing. So your voice is behind this magical app that's coming to the States soon, and even discovered a wonderful new technique to help teach your kiddos. So that's freaking awesome.
I'm excited. And we're going to practice on ourselves as adults and see how much better our brain works doing these exercises. So, it'll be wonderful if the brain works better, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Because grown-ups need it too. It's like, hey, when you forget where you put your keys, it's like, all right, give me that brain test or whatever. Let's get this brain working the way it's supposed to work so I don't have to lose my keys.
Or what about if you get in the shower with your glasses on?
Well,
or they're on your head and you can't find them. So,
yes.
Yeah.
That happened to one of my colleagues the other day.
Did it happen to you the other day?
And one of my colleagues the other day, she did a Facebook post about it. It was funny. I'm like, oh, dang.
I know. It's awful.
I'm like, really? Like, all right.
I know.
It's like, note to self, please let me keep 1 pair of glasses, please.
Yeah, I know. Right.
I don't want to buy a bunch of reading glasses and then have to wear 2 of them, unless it's really just for show.
I think that people probably keep Walgreens and CVS, and that's how they keep their business going, because people lose their readers and have to drive up to Walgreens or CVS and get a new pair.
That's right. Or some call them their CNI dogs.
Yeah, right. That's really good.
But hey, speaking of CNI dogs, a lot of folks have seen your wonderful work and much more work to come. So an 8-book series and really just helping kids with special needs. So my goodness, did you ever see yourself really writing, especially in this genre, no less?
No, I did not. From the very beginning, poetry is my background and love. I love poetry, and nature really, I go out in nature and it just comes, and I love to write just the metaphors of life show up, And so that's what my first love. And I had my son really late in life, and it was OMG, what are you kidding me? Okay. I didn't get the memo. Nobody talked to me. This is not the plan. I'm how old? So that kind of, I birthed him late in life and a book series, which I didn't know was going to happen. That's why I say I had twins, but he inspired the book series. It was a really scary end of the process. And was he going to survive? Was I going to survive? And through that period of gratitude and going, oh, thank goodness we're okay, and I'm so grateful, that's where the series started. And also as a parent looking at a child, it's my goal to write empowering books for kids and for people of all ages, because I have an adult book that is being considered right now for publishing with my co-writer, Thornton Klein. And I just think that it's so important to teach children from very early on empowering words, how to self-regulate, how to understand themselves, how to understand their feelings, and to realize that with a word, a phrase, it can change everything in your moment. And it can make you go from disempowered to empowered. No matter what somebody says to you, you can walk off feeling like I'm king of the mountain. And the cool thing about that is it's free. So words are always with you. And so through this series, the Poohlicious series. And I had somebody ask me this on an interview the other day about the word. And I said, I love Dr. Seuss and how he broke so many rules. And when you spend time with kids, because you have spent time with kids, right? You spend time with kids, they love silly words that sound funny, they don't make any sense, and they're goofy. So you can have kids rolling in the floor over silly words. So Poohlicious is really like that. It's just a word that is kind of silly and it's sweet, and it just speaks for the innocence of childhood. And so the 3 books have I am statements in there to teach kids early on about saying, I am powerful. I am awesome. I am amazing. I can do this. All those statements that are really important, I think, for us to teach children. We have programs in schools and children are still afraid. And I think that it'd be such a great thing to have programs in schools to teach kids about inspiration and motivation. Because lifting up your friend, your buddy, that's way better than tearing them down and way more powerful. In the end, the result is it benefits both of you. So the 8-book series is it is connected to the 8 Keys of Excellence, and with Bobby DePorter, who's out in California. And this is a program she's had for a long time that's all over the country. It's all over the world. They're implemented in elementary schools. And so Thornton and I are working on a book for ages 4 to 7 that's going to kind of, it's going to have the keys are like commitment, speaks with purpose, integrity, things like that. The good words that kids need to learn. And so we're taking it and adding some mindfulness in there and some motivational things that, you can have yoga poses that promote balance and well-being, and breathing, for children to go, oh, okay, I'm getting worked up. I need to stop and take a breath. So imagine our world if we start to teach kids this young, what the generations will be like if we can do this.
Oh, yeah, you could say that again, because I feel like we've gotten away from the family unit as a whole, especially with a lot of folks being single parents, especially the mothers out there. Like, being a mom is tough enough as it is. Like, we talked a lot before the record button was pressed about the heck, I even remember one preacher saying, it's like, oh, if mothers just raise kids to adulthood, they should get to heaven. That's how hard just
very true.
Kids. So.
Yeah, and if the parents survive them, they should,
Yeah, it's just really good that you're really doing that and with those wonderful plans ahead of time. So how is your writing process like with all this? Because there's so many different ways you can go about writing books, especially books for kids. And then, of course, with this upcoming book for the grown-ups too.
Well, that one was written during lockdown, actually, and in the middle of schooling at home. So that was kind of one of those, right when you have 5 minutes, I have found through being a really busy mom and having kids at such different ages that I do, and having children with challenges, which takes parenting to another level. It takes it to another height. I always have a notebook with me because you never know when something's going to come that is an inspiration of some sort, or maybe an idea or thoughts or whatever that you want to write about. And I keep it in a notebook. I use my voice recorder on my phone. And I mean, I've spent plenty of time writing, sitting in a car rider line, waiting for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or I have to get up early in the morning when the world is not awake yet and it's still quiet. That is the best. I think it seems to be a running time for most writers is early in the morning before the world even begins, it seems like, because it's so quiet. So that is one of my best times, is writing then. And sometimes I have to write, like now after dinner, I have to come upstairs in my office and get some writing done, especially if I have a deadline. So I always tell people, for those people who are wanting to write, but they're really not sure how to do it, how to go about it, and they're waiting for that space and time. I'm sorry. It ain't never going to happen, honey. So you got to do it when you have the time. You can't wait for the perfect, the oceans out the window, or the lake, or the trees and the birds. Turn on your turn on something on YouTube and pretend that you're there and find your spot. And sometimes you have to tell your children, this is mommy's time for writing. I have to write now, and that's standing up for yourself and self-care.
There we go. Indeed. I'm glad you mentioned self-care too, because that's something that's really huge. That's like a buzz topic nowadays, more than ever. And so what does the marvelous Mary do for self-care?
I was going to say mommy and self-care don't usually equal each other. They don't usually go in the same sentence. But I mean, I've had to learn, Dom. I've had to learn. I've done the self-sacrificing. I have done the run, go to you. I literally wear yourself out. And so I'm not unlike anyone else out there. I've had to learn what are my limitations? What can I handle? What is good for me? I mean, I'm still learning. I'm not perfect at anything. So I'm still learning. I mean, I've had a bad fall December 27th. And it was so bad that everybody had to pitch in. My mother was here for Christmas. She had to stay over and cancel her trip home. And literally watching everyone do all that I do, I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was an eye opener for me because they were all worn out. I'm thinking, okay, so either I'm crazy, I'm really superwoman, I have some unusual power, or we're all nuts. So I'm not sure which one of the three of it is. So, but it was a real eye opener, I have to tell you. So meditation is a very, very important thing. If you've never tried it, you should. It is just so amazing. I know what it does for me. I've done some online visualization and doing, meditation visualization with large groups of people. And I want to continue to do more of those. I really love what that's like, because the energy and helping people to calm down and relax is so important, because we all need to be more relaxed right now. We've got all this energy in the world that's frantic and scary. And my gosh, are we going to wake up tomorrow and half the planet's going to be blown up? I mean, like the Death Star in Star Wars. We don't know, right? So, I mean, it's important for us to find those. How can I come back to being in my body, being grounded, calm? So deep breathing, meditation, yoga, exercising. I mean, I don't care if you walk up and down your stairs in your house or you walk circles around your living room, anything to move energy and to get your energy more stable is very important for moms. Also, quit being so efficient with your kids. I mean, teach them what they need to do so they can be efficient in their lives. I know for me as a mom, it seems like, oh, just let me do it. It'll get done faster. Just give me it and I'll do it. And that's not the best thing to do, because then you don't teach them what to do. Then they go to college and they don't know that when the paper towels run out, they should not be using the oven mitt to dry the plate. Okay. So you got to teach your kids. I mean, you have to teach them how to be efficient. Right?
Well, I guess there are worse things than an oven mitt for that use.
There are worse things than that. But you know what? Things like that make you go, wow. Okay, I got to go back and check what I'm teaching right now. But I mean, there's just, we have to figure out what works for us. Those things are all work to do self-care. And you just have to take time for yourself, You really do. And give your kids stuff to do. Get off the tablet, get out of Wonder World, get out of your head, go wash the dishes for mom, go do the laundry. I still love you. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Let's get off your butt and go do something, right? So mommy can sit on her butt. No, I'm kidding.
You're adulting. I know it.
I know. Yeah. I have not ever done that very well, but I've had to get used to it for 7 weeks now. I've had to just say, can you please go do this for mom? But it's important for us to take care of ourselves. And for men too. I mean, men work really hard, and there's a lot of focus, I think, on moms for self-care, but what about the dads and the guys out there in the world? They need to do self-care too. important.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely right about that, especially where even though I feel like it's slowly starting to get to a place where men can be a little more vulnerable with themselves to other people,
Hmm.
is the fact that, hey, like we go through stress too. It's like it's a lot of pressure, especially nowadays. Now it's like, oh wow, it's like, oh wow, so the women don't need me anymore. They're kicking butt now more than ever. They got their own business and they can still be a fabulous mom, even though it's twice as hard to try to do all that by yourself. And it's like, oh wow, and darn job market and making sure I start a business and make sure the business stays alive. And if you have employees, it's like, oh wow, I got to make sure they get to go home with their pay and take care of their families. So it's a lot of stress for everybody. It's like definitely got to keep that self-care in mind, because if you don't, then life is going to force you to do it later.
Yeah, I kind of think that's what. Yeah, it is like the universe just kind of takes a frying pan and hits you over the head. Says you're going to stop for a while. It does, doesn't it? Sit yourself down and binge on Netflix for a little while. And Netflix says, thank you so much. Right.
Until occasionally taunts you after like episode 3. It's like, hey, do you want to continue watching? It's like, yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm here, Netflix. You're watching me, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you think I'm watching TV? Nah, the TV's watching us.
I know. It's kind of creepy, isn't it? It's like, yeah, we need to get off the technology, don't we? Oh, but it's so fun. I think somebody came up with all this stuff because they were adults that were bored. And now all the kids have, the kids have it all and they think they need it all. And, TikTok is, it's its own country, its own universe.
Oh my goodness, funny enough, that's actually reminds me of this one comedian who was basically making this funny observation. The facts like, yeah, got all this social media out there now, like the TikToks and this other stuff, because we came in on Facebook and now we talk about politics all day and scared all the kids away. And now it's like our land.
Yeah, right. I know Facebook is adult world, really. And then you go on TikTok, and if you have teenagers and college students, they're on it a lot. So I get to see a lot of the videos. Mom, look at this, look at this, look at this. And you just go, oh my God, these people have too much time on their hands. These people are all crazy. And they do the craziest, dumbest things you have ever seen in your life. But they do make you laugh, though.
That's right. Heck, one of the great medicines of the earth, laughter.
Absolutely. It is definitely a great medicine. Love it. I'll take more of it right now.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe drown in it.
Take a hot bath in it.
There you go. It's like, yeah, take a whole hot bath and throw laughter in there. Call it soap. That's right. And then you come out as a giant soap monster afterwards. And then you look like the Michelin Man metaphorically. Instead of the wonderful tires, it'll be bubbles. Right.
Yeah, and your kids run off screaming, Mommy, the big monster bubble. That's right. You don't do what I say, I'm going to get you all soapy. And I don't know. What can we say that was scary to them? It didn't sound very scary now.
I mean, hey, that's because soap is a good thing. So it's like, oh, soap. Yes, please give me soap. Protect me from the evil germs that out there in the world.
Oh, right now, soap's very popular. So I was reading, because I'm homeschooling. So today my son is learning about dinosaurs because they're in the lizard family, and dinosaurs mean fearful, large, terrifying lizard. So we're reading about paleontologists so he could understand what a paleontologist was. And the guy who it was, the article was written about, this gentleman, when he's out in the desert doing his work, he changes his clothes about one time while he's out there, and he may bathe twice while he's out there. And and he sleeps on the ground. He doesn't like a tent. I don't know that I could do that.
I'm good.
I'm okay. I gotta like showers and clean and soap. I mean, it's great what he does. I think it's fascinating. And I just was like, you don't normally hear people talk about that about not bathing and being out, like that. And because right now everybody's like, wash your hands, wear your mask, don't breathe on people, don't cough on people, don't touch people, don't look at people. So basically it's like that, isn't it?
Don't look at people. It's like, oh, where? Where are the people?
Yeah, right. There's nobody there.
Oh, man. But hey, some folks may be like, where's the people? But in your case, I guess, where's the poetry? Because I believe you got another project where you're going to be writing a poetry book for moms, too.
Oh, I am?
Yeah. Isn't that the plan in the future?
Mm-hmm.
One of those
you got all the future beams behind you. Yes. You need your crystal ball. You just set up and go online and just start, telling people what's happening.
Yes, indeed.
You need to eat more chocolate or whatever you want to tell people, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Or just tune into the Writers Corner TV live every Tuesday, or just catch the replays all day, every day, forever, and buy 2,000 copies of all of Mary's books.
That would be fantastic. I would love that. So would Carson, my little guy. So it's an interesting journey as a writer. That's one of my self-care things, is writing for myself, not for any purpose, but myself. Journaling through my day, my life, whatever I'm feeling is so therapeutic. Because, the thing is, you get it out of here and you get it out of here and you get it off your back and it's on paper and you don't have to think about it again. At least you don't have to carry it around with you. And usually you can process it better that way and then move it out.
Heck yeah, I can say that again. Won't even need a U-Haul truck either.
Yeah, right. And then you just get up and do your Groundhog Day again, right? That movie. Every day was the same.
Oh, no, that'd be scary.
I would absolutely. But didn't it feel that way a little bit during lockdown? Like a Groundhog Day, because every day we would get up, what's happened now? Get to the point you don't even want to turn the TV on. We'll just turn on folks like Dom and watch him and listen to his laugh and let him bring great interviews for people. That's a whole lot more fun to listen to.
Heck yeah, it's fun on the bun. It could even be a honey bun too.
Has anybody tried to market anything that you say?
To my knowledge, no. If I find them, I will have to do something.
Absolutely. We need a marketer out there, right?
Yeah, exactly. They kill everything, so might as well run my wonderful stuff into the ground in everybody's mind. So it's like, yeah, the mind control's working. The wonderful mind control's working. Everybody's thinking about chocolate and random elbow drops from the heavens onto a giant comfortable pillow. Yeah.
With you got to add in there, your smooth, easy jazz is coming up next.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Just imagine a saxophone made out of Jolly Ranchers and you'll be A-okay.
Oh, my God. That's great. That could be a kid's book right there. There's so many things that could be kids' stories. I think kids' stories are very they're so easy to write or to come up with because the kids are just, gosh, you worked with children too, and their imaginations are so fantastic and so much fun to be around.
Heck yeah, that's how you extend the youth. Not only good diet and exercise and self-care, but also being around the kids, young kids too, because they'll think of ways and ideas never would have thought of or considered.
I know, absolutely. Absolutely. I know. So it's a lot of fun. And I never did, I didn't know that I'd be writing about the things that I'm writing about, but I'm grateful for it. And it has a purpose, and I have a lot of passion behind it, having children who really struggled and watching them overcome challenges they change you as a person. You're just never the same. You're never the same after you have a child, and you're an advocate from the time your baby, from the time you get pregnant, because you have to take care of yourself because you're taking care of this other being. But then when you have children, they can't talk for themselves. They can't take care of themselves or ask for what they need. Your advocacy really takes a different turn. And we've had a pretty awful experience in our house with my middle daughter that someday when I feel like I can't, I'll write about that story. But with a teacher, and, it just making sure that their rights are heard, they're taken care of in school, they get what they need so they can be the best human that they possibly can be is very important. Because, they're our future. I mean, people don't live forever, so people keep coming up through the ranks. We're going to make sure that all of these kids can do the best they can in whatever way that they show up is what's important. And helping them to understand they're okay however they are is very important. I mean, I know when you were a kid, probably you knew mean kids. I knew mean kids. We all knew mean kids. And it's time for mean kids to go away.
Oh, yeah, because that's how they become grown-ups.
Yes. We're all running around with our wounds from our childhood. That's pretty much motivating the majority of humans at adult age, isn't it? Until we become aware and go, oh, I probably shouldn't do that anymore. Or I need to fix that. Or I should go get some help and I should grow so I can be the best me I can be. So it's interesting, isn't it?
That's right. With a capital I, indeed. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Maybe capital 2 I's, since we all should have 2 I's. In my case, 5 I's.
Why not? Why not? We probably have 5-eyed aliens on the planet now anyway. So, I don't know. Did you see that news clip back during the pandemic? Not during it, but in lockdown, there was this clip about, and we brought you this story months ago and 3 years ago that the government and the military have, released new footage of aliens among us. We'll get back to that when we come back. And they just slipped out for commercial. And I went, wow. So they're going to tell us something we've already all known or suspected, right? Since E.T. and everything came out and Close Encounters and all that stuff, and just kind of throw it in there. Let's just make people more crazy, or they'll just totally ignore it. It won't be that big a deal. UFO lands on the White House lawn. We'll be all right because we've seen it all, haven't we now?
Yeah, exactly. Just give it to them. They at least suspect it, or they're probably so scared of everything. It's like, oh, I'm going to die. It's like, all right, let's sneak it in there so that way we can clear a bit of our conscience. All right, we told them.
I thought that was hilarious on the news. I was like, really? How many people do you think are asleep right now? We all heard it in our house. Oh my gosh, that was too funny.
That's right.
Yeah. And then I wanted to call up the news station and go, yeah, prove it. We don't believe you. No, I'm kidding. Joking.
Nah, you're adulting again.
Yes, I am. I need to stay a young child still, don't I?
But speaking of calling up the wonderful news, you've been called up for all these wonderful interviews. So is there a question that you wish you'd be asked more often when you're on the guest side of the game?
That is a good one. A question I wish that would be asked. Maybe what do I hope that comes from all of this? Putting the time and effort into. We all have a focus, or many focuses, So why choose this focus? Why not choose just existing in life and not really doing much of anything? Because people choose that too, right? They choose the road that's the least resistance. So, and the road you're on, the road I'm on, it's not a road of least resistance. There are challenges and bumps to go over or around, and mountains to conquer, and ideas to kind of hope they come to fruition and help others. And so I guess that really, or you could just ask me what my favorite dessert is. Easy. No, I'm kidding. I wish somebody wondered what kind of fruitcake I like. No, I'm kidding. I don't eat fruitcake except for my girlfriend's Australian fruitcake is the bomb diggity over the fruitcake we have in the United States.
Oh, so what's the difference with the fruitcakes?
Well, hers is fresh Like she makes it from scratch, and there's nothing wrong with fruitcake we have in the United States. I'm joking, but hers has she soaks all of her fruit in a alcohol, not rubbing alcohol, but an alcohol. Wouldn't that be awful? and she it has a taste of like cinnamony and nutmeggy, so it just tastes really Christmassy. It's very good. She does a really good job at it, and she has a cheesecake that's to just go ahead and jump off the bridge because it's so delicious. It's like, if you want the cheesecake, you'll jump off the bridge. Okay, I want the cheesecake. So it's really good. But anyways, so yeah, that went down a rabbit hole fast.
That's right, indeed. It's like, some cheesecake and fruitcake. And they're probably really not even your favorites, are they?
Her cheesecake is one of my favorites, actually, because it's not too sweet. I'm not a big sweet eater. I don't eat a lot of sweets. But her cheesecake is so delicious. And I do like her fruitcake. But I don't eat a lot of sweets. Now, my kids, it's a totally different story. You'd think I was a chocolate alcoholic. But I'm not. So my children are. It's like they need a meeting really bad.
That's right. If you can help Mary have an intervention for her kids to purge them away from the chocolate.
Yes. And Girl Scout cookies just hit here. Do they hit up where you are? Yeah.
I'm sure
What's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. I think they're called the Caramel Delights now.
That sounds good. I don't think I have not tried those. We've got the mints, the peppermint ones, and the peanut butter. I'm doing a terrible job. Sorry, neighbor. I'm sorry. My girlfriend Wendy sold us the cookies. I can't pronounce them correctly. The Thin Mint. There, I got it. And then, it's because I'm trying to block it all out. I don't want to eat all the sweet. But yeah, I love red velvet. Red velvet is very good.
So red velvet cake's your favorite, huh?
It's one of my favorites. Yeah, it's my oldest child's favorite too. So, and I do have to say I second the Oreo thing. Is pretty good.
Yeah.
Crushed up Oreos are pretty good. Just go back to that kid favorite. So at Christmas time, I do a lot of baking, and we take those double stuffed Oreos and we chocolate dip them. Dark chocolate, white chocolate, light chocolate, and put sprinkles all over them and make them happy.
Ooh. That's right, folks. Folks are listening like, oh, crap, I'm hungry again. Dom, stop talking about food on the podcast. Dang it. I'm on my way to work. I'm still on the diet. I'm trying to drop this COVID-19 weight. Stop it.
Right. Quit talking about sweet people. Talk about twigs and carrot sticks and something like that, Yeah, I know. Now, detox diets are a blast. Oh, my gosh. No sugar, no caffeine, no flour, no dairy. What's there left to eat, right?
Yeah, those detox diets, it's definitely interesting, especially with the no sugar thing, because it's amazing how much sugar is in just about everything now that you get off the shelf. It's crazy.
It is crazy. But I always feel better when I do one of those diets. It's just kind of, it's one of those uphill battles going into one of those, and you're like, yeah, I got to give all that up. But, for a little while, it's okay. You should do it. Clean your system out. Let it go. Oh, I can breathe again,
And speaking of giving up, that's actually one of the laws of personal growth, the law of sacrifice. So in your wonderful life that is still yet to be lived fully, because there's a lot more decades ahead of you, what do you think is probably the biggest sacrifice you've made so far in your life that's made the biggest payoff so far?
This may sound kind of strange, but I think becoming a mom, because of what the body goes through, the taxing that it has on a woman's body. It depends on what your health is and challenges that you already have. But to bring another human into the world as a woman is one of the most powerful things that a woman can do, is to bring in a child and nurture it and love it and help it be a human, grow into a human being. Well, we don't I take that back. We're not birthing aliens. Okay. So let's just get it straight here. You know what I mean? We want to make them a whole, full-fledged human that can participate in society and life and give to the world instead of taking away from the world. And I think that is one of the biggest sacrifices was my health, the things that happened from having my children, but I would never, ever, ever take that back. I would never change it. I was meant to be a mom. I was told I couldn't have children. 7 years into a marriage, I've had 3 children who were all miracles in their own right. And so I think when we put ourselves on the shelf to raise other humans, and then to raise our children, and then there's all this time that you lose of having a mindset of doing what you want to do in your life and for yourself. And it becomes one sole purpose of being a mother and nurturing and loving and caring and taking care of others. Oh, we lose something of ourselves. We lose that drive, or whatever it is you want to call it. It kind of like you go to sleep because you go into forward drive of what is right in front of you. And so then maybe 20 years down the road, you're like, wow, I always wanted to do this, or I always wanted to do this. And then you pick it back up. So I will say that it's never too late in life to do what you want to do, because, things for me in this arena have started very late in life. They didn't start when I was 20. I was doing other things at that time. So you're never too old to do what you want to do. Never. You're never too old to have kids. I can tell you that much from my own experience. And you're never too old to do the things that you want to do. 60, 70, 80, 90. Get out there and do it if you want to.
Powerful right there, indeed. Heck, it actually reminded me of one of our past guests, Shelley Knight. She, too, was one of those ladies that was told, like, hey, you're not going to be able to have kids, especially late in life, especially in your 40s. And she said herself that she's kind of feisty, and she has this lovely English accent, so it makes it even better and make her sound extra cute when she said it too. And I'm like, okay. And she, too, actually gave birth to a little one later in life because she was another miracle baby. So, hey, miracle babies do happen. They do happen.
They do, and they change your life completely. And your parenting is different, way different. My experiences with him have been totally different than with my daughters, not in a good or bad way, just different. I was more present, older, looked at life differently, So it's a powerful thing. But I think that would be, I don't know, I'm trying to think what other sacrifices there might be in life. I would also say, as a mom, not listening to your gut instinct and your intuition, because a mom's intuition about her child is, in my life, I've seen, is never, ever wrong. Even if a doctor is saying to you there's nothing wrong with your child and there's something going on, even if they just have like bronchitis as opposed to just a viral something that there's nothing you can do about, and you just can tell there's just something going on. But if you go in and you see things in your child and you know that there's something that you're just not sure about, and the doctor is saying to you, oh, they're fine, they'll be fine, and you just like, there's just something. As a mom, you have to continue looking and searching until you get that answer, because it always is right. I would say not listening to yourself is a terrible thing in life. When you do things that you don't want to do, isn't that awful?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you betrayed yourself.
Yep. And then those regrets come at you.
The what?
And then those regrets come at you later in life. It's like, crap, I should have did that thing.
Oh, I should have eaten vanilla chocolate instead of chocolate, right? When I was 25. So, I don't know. I think those are those are some hard things to look back and say, gosh, I wish I would have listened to myself. People get married when they're not ready to make somebody else happy. Maybe it's just not the right time. Things like that happen too. And that's hard.
Yep, it was a good time to be a divorce lawyer. A lot of folks probably broke up during this whole lockdown thing.
Either that or it shows people how strong their relationships are, that they can handle each other, working at home. I mean, you hear people joke. I have heard people joke too. I have friends who joke. Somebody posted the other day, well, we wallpapered the bathroom, and if we can get through this, we can survive anything, because I was going to kill him. Those kind of posts. And it's like, wow, we've taken it to a whole new level. People being home during a lockdown. It's a whole new degree of whatever. So it'll be interesting what our grandkids, what our kids tell their kids one day. It's going to be very interesting. It won't be the whole, I walked a mile up the hill in the snow to school, barefoot and back. It won't be that story.
And there was a bear and the alligator in the same mountain.
Yeah, right. The poor alligator, he's really out of his element, but yes, there was.
He really didn't want to be on a man's feet at all. He didn't want to be gators.
No. Yeah, right. He really wanted to be in the hot, sunny weather in Florida somewhere. So, yeah.
That's right. Should have never took that turn in Albuquerque at all.
Right.
Well, we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is, if you're to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but this time in 2021, with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. We can get through this. Right? Keep your head on straight. Keep being creative. Keep moving forward. Focus on what you can do. Focus on how you can make the world a better place. How can you be a better person for those around you and for yourself? And the mantra, I got this. We're going to be okay, right?
There you go. And have more kids since you'll be 21 again, right?
Oh my God. Oh God. No, I'm done. Oh my gosh. When people say to me, they're like 40 years old or they're late 30s and they're like, I think I'm too old. No, you can have a whole football team. I don't want to hear about it. Okay. You can't. You got a good 10 years on you to have babies. So, my great grandmother had 11 kids, her last at 50. Mm-hmm. So you can too. Right? If that's what you want.
That's right. And still look fabulous afterwards.
Yeah, that's the trick. Get that pancake number 10. Put it here, right?
There you go. Well, hey, it could be pancakes. Also could be the detox diet.
I know. A lot of sleep. Coffee. Gotta have my coffee.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Coffee. Yeah.
The elixir of the gods, the coffee.
Yeah, the coffee. It is the liquor of the gods, isn't it?
That's right. The elixir of the gods. That's right. Yes, indeed. So for those who want to keep in contact with the marvelous Mary and all of her wonderful work that is out there and that is to come, what's the best way for folks to reach out to you?
They can find me at www.maryejackson.com. That's my website. So books are there. Audiobooks are going up soon. Links to the shows, to see interviews. If you're, looking for a new author, you know how that is, looking for a new book. It's nice to share authors. I love doing that, and hearing their backstories is so fascinating. And I'm on Instagram at MaryJackson444. I'm on Twitter at Mary_E_Jackson. And LinkedIn, it's Mary E. Jackson, I think, on there. Yes. And I just joined that Clubhouse app. So I think Bridgetti and I are going to do a thing on Monday. We're going to get on there and have a chat room. So check that out and see what that app's all about. So it's seems to be jumping and hopping and all that other fun stuff. But it's interesting to try to keep up all your social media. And, Facebook, I think I'm Mary Elizabeth Jackson on Facebook. So.
There you go. Well, follow the white chocolate queen herself, Mary Elizabeth, baby. That's right. 2 queens in one name, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Follow her.
You're awesome. You're awesome. I love it. Yes. Lady Mary here with Mr. Dorm, and we're going to go off the air in just in 1 moment. Right, darling.
This is 2 peas in a podcast.
Okay. High five on that one. That was good.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Awesome.
So for those who survived all of my corniness and all the talk about desserts, any party words before we close up shop?
Oh, be the bright light that you are in your life and that life around and those around you. And if your light is turned down a little bit, then you know what? Take some time and find that light because it's in there. It's in there in all of us, isn't it? Right now, we all need to turn it up so we could just be the best person that we are able to be in this life. It's important for us to give to the world, right? Instead of taking away, give.
How's it going, you super special, awesome human? Since you made it to the end of this episode, it looks like you really enjoyed yourself. Since you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with at least 3 people in your network and tell them what you really liked about this episode. Heck, even shoot myself or the guests an email and let them know what you liked most about this interview so that way they can stay inspired to keep pushing out great work.